I just kind of cleared off the table a little bit. And family. I had wrote a little letter in regards to doing something. What it was asking me about social change. Oh yes, and I added some cement in here, so I need to use this readily. Add a little cement, but I was like, what is social change? Oh, this is not soft at all. So yeah, I'm gonna try to use this up. Like I said, I put a little cement in there, but for the next batch, I'm not gonna use that because you can feel the granules on here. So I don't know if that was a smart or strategic move. But so I was like, what is what is social change, or how would I do it, or what kind of video? It was kind of like on a filming scope, right? So readily, I was like, okay, having a conversation, but then looking at some of the concerns that we may have in our communities, our social issues, or looking at our home, our personal issues. It could be as small as, let's say, a relationship with a significant other, the different changes or things that take place. I don't like the cement in this one. This doesn't, I put a little, but it has granules in it, so I don't like it. But I'm going to finish it. Not because I'm using it, because then I don't need to stop. And I don't need to stop doing that. But but anyway, as I had said, that my avocation has been for family. Way before, here it is, the interruption. Okay? So then I began to learn that interruptions is an emotion. An emotion or an action, because an emotion can be an action. You see different issues that are involved with that. People go through different changes. We can look at our kids. I mean, when you just say the word family, it could be, they have family and children's services. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, when once you say family, then why put children as if they were separate from the family unit? You know what I mean? So then there was a lot of advocacy for children and all that other kind of thing. And I said, well, what about the parents? Why y'all sitting there writing all these laws up for these kids? They need to put some laws in there for parents. The reason why is because, and then I said, hey, I need to put these things in the age group because you'll get some. I had to change this. I'm sorry. I don't have to change that. You can put, here it is, talking about all these kids, and then mom and dad going through the rigmarole. The kid is the one that, or the child or the children or whatever, then went someplace else. They doing this, they doing that. Then you begin to see some other things that in regards to your family changing. Now you're talking about your spouse, you're talking about your mom, your dad, things which you grew up, the people you're socializing with. So the family unit, when you go to the court, or if you're not going to court, if you're not trying to address, here it is, issues. I mean, hey, I met people, they be talking bad about their mama. You know what I'm saying? They be talking bad not only about their mama, but their daddy. They be talking about their kids, all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm try to keep on keeping on because I got this video going. But family. Now you start looking at not only your family, but then, yeah, we're just gonna talk about family. So I had wrote it. Actually, I had inquired with an inquisition and looking at, let's say, some of our issues that regards to family, and then somebody else who will say that they want to interfere with it or participate. Well, here it is, dismantling the unit. Like I said, I'm just gonna focus on family because now they went to other places. But you'll find people they're involved with their wife. So now we're looking at family as a nuclear family. You have your spouse, you have your children. Along with your children, you have your parents. From your parents, you have your grandparents, you have your cousins, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Your nieces and your nephews. You know what I mean? Now, this don't have anything to do with, let's say, your sex partners. This is just talk about your family. You know what I'm saying? Then you start looking at your family, and they be sitting there talking about somebody done threw somebody out and locked the door and did this and did that. It's one thing to talk about health. You know what I'm saying? God forbid, you want to be healthy and everything. And then you be like, who you can call within your family? Who's gonna pick up the slack? Lord have mercy. Stuff just have you just going whackity tack tack. You have emotions, and I am only talking about family. We ain't gonna talk about work or nothing. Because outside of your domestic things, like you need to wash the dishes, take out the trash, change the light bulb, and stuff like that. That's going into a whole nother little beacon light. Whew, good Lord. You be trying to talk to your mama, trying to talk to your wife, building trust and all that other kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Then people be, I tell you, I'm like, wow, matter of fact, I'm like, honey, write it down. How do you feel about your mama? How you feel about your daddy? You know what I'm saying? You get some people, they be out there, they just be bitter because they don't want to do dishes, take out the trash. Now you talking about your home and stuff like that. People be trying to find balance and all that. And guess what? They got counseling for that. They got people who go to counseling with their family issues. Not just that, but what else? What are some of the other things that become an argument? Money. You know what I'm saying? They want to be like, you got to get you a job. They don't want to go work or nothing. They kick you out the house. Lord have mercy. What you going to do? Then they be talking about their rules and their house and all that other kind of stuff. And you just be there with your mom and daddy and your siblings or your spouse now. You know what I mean? Then once you actually choose, and this is the thing, this is what I learned, that your husband or your wife become your daughter, your son. They become, here it is, mama and daddy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get people, they don't understand that. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, okay, this your daughter. They talking about, they could be easily talking about your wife. Oh, this your son, this your spouse, because when you think about it, when you're involved in a relationship, you're taking on, here it is, those responsibilities that are similar to when you were growing up. You know what I mean? Then you have sex. That's the thing. That is what's different. Outside of some of those other family issues, like you know, family secrets and stuff like that. It'd be a whole lot of stuff just going on with that. Mama, daddy, kids, and all that kind of shit. No, seriously, people, seriously. But when you look at your significant other, and I encourage people, hey, meet somebody, be with them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be like that. You know what I mean? Hey, there's hugs and kisses. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that when you begin to look at, let's say your family and here it is, your relationships and stuff, you don't want to be looking at those things negatively or, I got to get myself right first before I be with anybody. No, share those things with other people, honey. Don't be all by yourself. Honey, I ain't going to feel to you. I'd be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Hello? You know what I'm saying? Ask a sister for dinner or something. You know what I mean? Invite me, honey. I want to go, huh? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But when you have people who will be like, oh, okay, they got a whole lot of different baby mamas and daddies and all that other kind of thing. Sometimes, now we have to think about raising the children and stuff like that. It changes. Here it is, that platform. Like I said, I just want to talk about family now. Because, like I said, when you start talking about relationships, honey, we could go way, 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 way over there. You have your sisters and stuff. Some people they grow up, they enjoy being with their sisters, or the sisters and the brothers and stuff like that. They be sticking together. Then you be like, well, can you count on them? Lord have mercy. I told you I went to Fort Lee. I'm like thinking about here. There's all that dang on noise. You were right, honey. That little meal ticket could have been right up in there, like that. But oh, here it is. We could did this program. It's like, well, honey, you're right. You sitting here and yet you talking about willing and ready with or without an education. I'm not gonna go there. So we just talking about family, okay? So family will put you out. You don't got no job, or you got a job. It is what you gonna do. Get all that civil and all that other kind of thing. People be boxing it down. People grow up. They go to school. You know what I'm saying? They leave home. Be like, dang, where you learn all that stuff from? Hello? So, anyway, this little piece that I wrote, I said mental health. When we look at mental health, or matter of fact, because I said family, we're going to look at domestic. Now, when you look at domestic, you see this thing in domestic. They talk about financial, they say emotions. They not only talk about emotions, they talk about mental, they talk about physical. Okay? I was just looking at something and it's talking about, I was like, well, honey, I ain't gonna feel you, honey. I'm gonna need to know that person. You know what I'm saying? Tat, 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 like that. Because, honey, people be sitting there talking about their job and creed and shit like that. Honey, you get upset. Shit, like what? That is concerning, honey. I ain't gonna fib to you, honey. And they was sitting there talking about here, this, how they. I was like, honey, I know you lying. But when you look at domestic, the opposite of, let's say, domestic issues, you know what I'm saying? You got women and men who seem like act like they suffering because they have to follow instructions and do chores and shit. Like, you trying to have a simple conversation, somebody just go 360 or ballistic and shit like that. So, yes, honey, to talk about family health. You know what I'm saying? Then we talking about all these little different programs and all that other kind of thing, and going here and going there. You know what I mean? They be talking about the kids sitting there trying to fight mama and all that other kind of thing, and daddy. And here it is, they want to go out there and they create an extended family. Then they gonna learn about here it is that person, whether male or female, and a family. Then you have that kind of conversation. Oh wow. And then they want to sit there and tell you about here it is family, and daddy was out there, got some love children, mama was out there, you know what I'm saying? The kids out there. Now you ain't even talking about here it is cousin and them. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, you got your grandma and them. You didn't want to tell no stories about them. Whew, good Lord. So anyway, that piece I said, okay, let me see. Well, I was like, okay, we're gonna set the platform to just talk about mental health. Or mental really was, when you look at mental health, it's talking about here there's all those things that I said was domestic. Mental health is all those things that talk about domestic. When you look at the Declaration of Human Rights, you will see that how those things are aligned outside of somebody want to tell you about that medicine. Because I told you, or that about history, about how they wanted to give all them little kids medicine and stuff like that, talking about they were hyper and all that other kind of thing. Want to give them some mental medicine to calm down, so they would start drugging these little kids from young, honey. So that right there is talking about mental health. So now when we start talking about the family unit and being able to reach out to different people and stuff like that, like I said, there are families who go through counseling because here it is, the man upset that here it is, but yet they love each other because they went to counseling. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, even before you get married, honey, they be like, get marriage counseling. Okay? And hey, man gonna be all right. Some folks went and got prenuptial agreements. Woman want to put, and the man want to protect here it is their wealth. You know what I mean? Things that they had accumulate together, glory. You know what I'm saying? Somebody kick you out the house, where you gonna go? You would think that now your extended family, they would support you and all that. Mom and dad done sit there and talk bad about you. Saying, but mental health is associated with human rights and also domestic concerns. Not people who just want to be out there and be bad, and want to be like they just trying to start trouble deliberately to find themselves in confinement. You know what I'm saying? But then mama maybe complained that it's out of control. I can't handle this. Boop 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 boop. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know, somebody done said something, touched a little baby the wrong way. Touch here it is, something. Can't get no hugs. Here it is, they want to fabricate stories and shit like that. Here it is, daddy done touched and hugged and did the little airplane. Family. You sitting here, you trying to talk to your kids, they ignoring you and all that other kind of thing. You can't do it. So here it is. They want to be like, okay, they did this, they did that. It is mental, people. Having balance inside your home. You could call it anything else you want to, but it is domestic. When we read here, it is certain things that's relative to now just the family unit. Now, just think outside of that, all the other things that's associated with here it is your being on earth, right? You start looking at here it is a collection of different things. That's why I said it's important, or you would think that people be wanting to, share the story about here it is their relatives. Be like, well, why you think, one drink more, drink less? Huh? Why do you suppose that people, the man, want to do things with their little children, or the woman, them? Huh? Here it is, you got your spouse or whatever. But anyway, when you start looking at here it is, the family unit, you begin to acknowledge that there is responsibilities with a man and a woman relationship. You go inside of a woman's house or a man's house, then their actions or their behaviors are something different. It's a little different than when you go to mama. Boy, and they be going back and forth with some of them. Huh? You be going back and forth. Then you'll be like, oh, here it is. Mama hit me. Mama touched me. Mommy squeezed my hand. Mommy squeezed my foot. Lord have mercy. They want to sit there and be trying to call a case. Family. So even though I am mental health, I think that I do want to make sure that I kind of write it where it talks about family. establish the dialogue to talk about family and what is it that we can do collectively to establish relationships where, we could look up to family, we're a partnership. I have said some things about the buddy system because, we put a lot of government or the thought thereof to talk about support. That yes, we have some civil services and stuff like that, but to avoid trouble, you would think that the structure would be there where you can make phone calls and call people that you need or people that will support you, you know what I'm saying? Outside of your social, going to a nudist bars. You know what I'm saying? But yet they were. So I think that maybe the approach when I'm addressing mental health, no different than the outreaches that are many, but to put that in a context where it's talking about domestic violence or domestic issues, and then activities for families, and outside of just saying, okay, well, this is a venue, we're going to the family, they got these things, people go out to different venues, but it's not family oriented. But then it'd be like, okay, well, what's family oriented activities? I have gone to some places where they say, well, hey, all the kids and mom and daddy, and yet here it is, some other people, they be walking around butt naked. You know what I'm saying? As if maybe the parents even allow their kids to have sex in front of them. You know what I mean? Is that healthy? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who do it. People that they'll go, on family trips and stuff like that. Their kids be young. We had some people who were talking about how they were bathing with their kids and all that kind of thing. Then somebody want to set up a little case around that, be like, here it is, oh, this grown man he bathing with his daughter, and she 10 years old. See what I'm saying? Mama already is like, okay, once the child get a certain age, she don't want daddy to be bathing with her kids. Why do you think that here it is women or men put up for the things? It's not so much the woman, but it be the men. Woman, the wife she married, but when their daughter get a certain age, you see what here it is. They want to be like men, be so sexual or something. Woman, she may be freely upset, everything. She ain't thinking about that. Not all of them. They want to be try like to build a bear, but I'm like, there's not a lot of women out there who be trying to do things like that for their kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to promote that, but at a certain age, 5 or 10 or something, no daddy don't be bathing with their kids. But why do you think women put restrictions on here this daddy like that? You know what I'm saying? They trust one another. They trust one another, right? They trust one another, right? Why do you think now she may be thinking, okay, that trust was lost. Maybe he went out there, laid up with somebody else and all that kind of thing. Do you think the conversation would have been all right or much easier if, he said something to her? Like, okay, babe, I want to have sex with somebody else. But then here it is, she having any of those kind of intuitions or thoughts about her mate going out there cheating, laying up. No, she ain't gonna. She has a little. Her protection for her kids are a little different. But then look at that. We got women who got kids from, a man, and you know what I'm saying? They want to sit there and be like they want to be roaming and everything. You know what I'm saying? And then she want to have restriction on her kid. You with so and so. I don't want you touching my baby. And it's like, wow. Family, people, family. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you start looking at here, it is the balance and the conversation about family, it can be imbalanced. Shit. Like that. I mean, you be like thinking you just say like, man, okay, mom, okay, daddy. I am mom, I am daddy. Think with grandma and grandpa. And then you be sitting there talking about the women you laid up with, the men you laid up with. Now, because now you just talk about you inside your family, with your family. You know what I'm saying? But do you think that here it is that opportunity to do certain things like sex and stuff in front of other people is, I mean, anyway, when you start talking about certain things, people, be talking about their relationships and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even here. watching pornography. You know, you get some people that go to the church and it's like, honey, the church, there's some churches that'll tell you and encourage you to go out there and have sex. How else are we gonna make the world turn if we sitting there being all of us being nuns? I said one moment, let me get out of the church. Let's go back to families. Let's go back to the house. So let's go right back there to the house. Then he out there, he want to argue and he want to be talking about other men or vice versa, women talking about other women. Matter of fact, I just asked somebody the other day, are you laying up and sexing anybody? I'm just your friend. Tell me, honey. Tell me. Are you involved? You gotta, they'll be trying to lead me on. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. If you know you was out there sexing and all that, why would you want to put me in that situation? Expose me like that. I don't like them motherfuckers for that. And you know you was out there, oh, they clean. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I'm saying? But you sexing, you doing this, you doing that. You know what I mean? And then you was sitting there talking about trust. Gotta argue with somebody about paying $5 bill and shit. You know what I mean? Hey, can you help pay a bill? Can you do this? Arguing about some little money. You want to get ballistic and get all upset and get crazy and carrying on. Then you get some people, they real cool, honey. They go inside their home, they mind their business, but then they don't have a relationship with their parents. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a relationship with their parents. They may have their spouse, they have their little children, and that's it. They don't go back and talk about their mama, their daddy. They go to work. That's why I said, well, I said social, business, and family. But then it was something else. I was like, oh, okay, there's another thing. But social will be organization and all that. That would kind of go into all of that too. Because it's outside of, you going home or you going to work. So most of those other categories go into here the social. Because if you go to the club, it's social. You go to church, it's social. Because you socialize and it's a little different. Mm-hmm.